Hey guys, I'm Morthadon and we are back for My Hero Academia episode 60. So I'm very excited for this one since we got left off on a big cliffhanger. And also, since I'm recording this for Patreon, for those of you who don't know, I have early access available on my Patreon. And since I'm just getting into the reactions, I have to record 2 this week so that way I can be, ahead to have an extra one posted on Patreon. You can also find full length on there on Patreon as well, if you wanted to support me at all. So I figured I'd do a little plug in the beginning of that, which I meant to do last episode, but I had a lot to talk about, so I decided not to. But yeah, guys, this episode we're gonna find out the results of the provisional hero licenses. I've updated my theory a little bit from the last video you guys saw, because in the discussion I talked about how it might be Todoroki and Inasa that failed, but we didn't really have, enough visuals on everybody else to, have an idea of who else would fail, so really it's just, will Inasa and Todoroki fail or pass? And, to further back up my theory that they will fail is that, on the big scoreboard, when I was editing, I noticed that, everyone's name is posted, but there's 2 blank spots at the bottom right corner. And now that could either be Todoroki and Inasa being, crossed off because they failed, or it could just be that there's not enough kids there to fill that whole board. It also, just because their names are up there doesn't mean that they passed. It could say, Midoriya and then pass right underneath it. And then, Inasa fail, so everyone's name might already be up there anyway. But I don't want to go too in-depth into that before we get into the episode, because we're going to find out here anyway. But I just wanted to throw that out there, because while editing I did notice that, so I wanted to update my theory a little bit with those 2 blank spots. But yeah, guys, I have no idea what to expect for the last, what do we have, 3 more episodes after this, so 4 more episodes total if we count this one. I don't know what's going to happen. If it's going to be build up for season 4, or if it's just going to be happy-go-lucky school stuff until the end, or if it's going to be a really quick, big intense thing that happens. I have no idea, but I'm really looking forward to finding out, so let's jump into the episode, shall we? Alrighty, so for full-length people, we are going to be starting the episode in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, now. Yes, the results. This is what we want. Yeah, see, the 2 little spots in the corner is what I was talking about. They're both remember. Nice. So that means he passed? Those are all the people that failed. I'm just kidding. Ah. Cool, they decided they wanted to show us that before the opening, because they're I wonder if they got a lot of hate for that cliffhanger, right? So they're alright, we'll show them that Midoriya passes before the opening, and then you guys can see the rest after. Probably not, but... Also, I'll say it in here just because I have nothing else to talk about for this opening. So, for the movies, what I'm planning on, I looked at, scheduling and everything, and it looks like I'll be able to watch both the movies, finish off this and everything, and still have 2 weeks left. So what I might do is I might space out the movies by a week. So I'll watch one movie, and then I'll take a week off, and then I'll watch another movie, because this will be, the first time I ever record for that long, so I want to, kind of ease my way into it, not do, back-to-back weeks of, an hour-and-a-half movie, or however long it is. That's if there's 2 movies. I'm pretty sure there are, though. Yeah. Nice, Mineta passed. Nice. So that's what I thought. Pretty much everybody is passing since we didn't get to see them do anything wrong, no! Bakugo failed! Inasa failed too. Todoroki failed too, it seems like. A talk about your quirk. Interesting. Is he gonna apologize? Yeah. Now Todoroki is gonna apologize and they're gonna bond. Nice. Damn. I wonder if that will get Bakugo to really think. Mineta. Oh, man. Ah, okay, cool. So are we gonna get to see the people that failed specifically? Nice. Damn. Yeah, she did do pretty good with the little bit we saw of her. Not bad. Yeah. Makes sense. Hmm. Interesting. Cool. Yeah. With great power comes great responsibility. Ah. I love how much they care about raising the next generation because I feel like in our world, it just doesn't matter to anybody. Not anybody, but most people. Is there gonna be a spin to it? Okay. Next year? Or. Oh. Cool, so they can still do it, they just. Alright. Nice. Yeah. Todoroki just doesn't say anything. Freaking Mineta. Nice. Cool. Oh, it's like a real license, and it says hero on the back. Oh, I'd be crying too. That's how I was when I got my driver's license. It was such a big accomplishment for me, I felt like. Nice. Oh, that was funny. Oh. Hmm. Interesting. Oh. Oh shit. Oh damn. Did I talk about? No, I don't know. I thought I talked about that she might have this kind of ability, but I don't remember where I talked about it. Oh shit. And now she can look like Midoriya for however long that lasts. Oh shit. Oh, All Might's visiting him. Damn. Alright, let's go. Damn. So he can still activate his quirk. Damn, that is some rough conditions. Ooh. He's not gonna say if he even knows, yeah. That is some thick glass. Look at those, like, breathing, like, or talking tubes, I guess, not breathing tubes. Hmm. He's kinda right. Hmm. Oh, wow. That is a cool shot. Whoa. Man. Wow. He predicted it right. Hmm. Interesting. I talked about that a bit in one of my other episodes of how he did good for a long time, but now that people got used to his power, its disappearance kind of hindered the world too. Hmm. Yeah. Hmm. What is All Might gonna say here? Oh. Damn. Oh. Damn. Cool. Interesting conversation. Boy. Cool. Yeah. Oh, they're all hanging out in the lounge of their dorms. That's cool. Ooh. Oh, shit. That's what the title means. Everyone's asleep, and now they're gonna be outside. Ho 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 ho. Hmm. Hmm. Interesting. I wonder where this is gonna lead. Yeah, I thought after he said that it was gonna be something like he was gonna start to change. Alright, Midoriya. Yup. Yeah. Damn. Is he gonna think All for One gave him his quirk? Yeah. Damn. Yup. Huh. Interesting answer. Huh. Alright. Do 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 do. That was an intense episode. I enjoyed it quite a bit. Do 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 do. It took me a bit to get past the visuals for this ending, but I'm actually starting to really, really, really like it. Well, not really the visuals. I think I just got over the visuals, but the song I really like. Ah. Alrighty, guys, so that is the end of episode 60. Oh, that was such a good episode, guys. Damn. So much so many, like, little things to touch on, but I might end up talking about for quite a bit. So, I guess let's start at the beginning, and we can talk about the provisional license where pretty much everybody passed except for Bakugo, Todoroki, and Inasa. I believe everybody else passed, or maybe there were others that just weren't named characters because there were a lot of people there that didn't pass. That also, but I don't know. But they are able to take I believe it was a 3-month class that has to be done on top of your usual studies, and then a test at the end, to end up getting their provisional licenses. And we obviously know all three of them are going to do it. Or you could choose to come back next year and do the whole provisional thing over again. But we know that our main characters are going to go ahead and do that. So, but it's really cool that Midoriya passed. We didn't get any kind of struggle stuff with Midoriya not passing. He also, once again, like typical Midoriya, wasn't like the best of the best and wasn't the worst of the worst. He's just plain old Midoriya, nice and average. Scoring a 71. I'm sure he wasn't the lowest, but he definitely wasn't the highest, because people like Momo got like a 94 and stuff like that. I think it was a 94. So that's really cool that pretty much everybody passed, though, although that was kind of expected, considering how little they showed of them rescuing. It was only like a couple of characters we saw them like lose points or almost lose points, and then it just skipped all the rest of what they did. So, but yeah, regardless of that, that was very cool, and it's awesome that, our Todoroki, Nasa, and Bakugo are able to make this up. I wonder how Bakugo will do, because he obviously struggles really hard on the compassion side of things when it comes to saving people. So I guess it depends on what this 3-month class is about. Is Bakugo going to be able to fake it till he makes it? But he's never been one to really do that, so hopefully, I guess he's just going to hope that these classes aren't going to involve too much like compassion, but yeah. And then we moved on to, did we move right into the whole, oh, that was the next thing, the whole Toga thing. And now I may not have sounded as surprised as I could have. I actually predicted in one of my other episodes, during the rewatch series, I think is when I talked about it, I predicted that, because I've had a long time to think about Toga since, because when I originally watched up until, was it 60, up until 58, I originally watched it while it was airing, and then I've watched reactions, I've watched, I've rewatched it as well, and then I did my rewatch series for YouTube as well. So I've gotten to go through it again and again and again, and I spent a lot of time thinking about what Toga's quirk could be. Why she needs to gather blood and not just drink it right away. Part of, like, when I first met Toga, I thought because of the scene, not first met, but when we first saw Toga in action, when she went up against Uraraka, we saw that she kind of played mind games, and I thought maybe that was like some kind of mental thing where she was able to like throw your brain into a sense of confusion, because she was talking about like, you love someone too, right? You want to be like that person. You want to become that person, like that crazy talk that she did with Uraraka, and it looked like Uraraka's world was like warping and stuff. So I thought that could have been her quirk, but I then, like, after a while, I was like, but that really had nothing to do with her blood, because she didn't stab her after. So what's the big thing about the blood? And I believe in one of my last rewatch series videos, I talked about the possibility that Toga might be able to become other people if she drinks their blood. You know, so sort of like a vampire, but a twist on it, you know? Where she's not consuming blood for nourishment rather than consuming it for her quirk activation, and that's also why she really liked Stain at first as well, was because his quirk is similar to hers. So after thinking about that, I was trying to think about like what could she do with consuming blood that she'd need different types, because we know during the episode when they were getting attacked at the summer camp, she was supposed to get a bunch of different types, you know? So I started thinking maybe she can turn into the person that uh, she drinks the blood of. God, sorry about that. But I'm still concerned about her ability to hide her presence like she did. I don't know how she managed to do that, unless she had the help of another person's quirk. Or maybe that really is just a skill that you can develop if you train hard enough. You can, like, hide in people's blind spots, you know, and, like, essentially disappear. However, she explained that, because we obviously know that Toga now was the one that was in there. And also, I think when I was rewatching the scene with Toga, or Cammy, what we thought was Cammy fighting Midoriya, I was wondering why she was so obsessed, you know? And when I came up with that theory about Toga being able to turn into people, I thought maybe Toga infiltrated the exam, and that's why she didn't care about the exam. She only cared about, what's it called? She only cared about meeting Midoriya on the field, you know? And then she wanted to be liked by Midoriya, that's why she turned into Uraraka. Granted, that was also probably the only other person's blood she had that we know, you know? She could also, I mean, she could have whoever amount of people's blood, but they're all probably people we don't know. And, you know, maybe there's, like, some sneaky stuff she could have done, but now she has Midoriya's blood, so regardless of all that, what is she planning on doing with Midoriya's blood? Now, the question I have is, I wonder what Cammy's quirk is now. What if Cammy's quirk is what lets her hide in your blind spots, and when Toga drinks your blood, she turns into you, but can also use the quirk? But that doesn't make sense, because when she was falling as Uraraka, she didn't use the gravity to save herself. Unless she just wanted Midoriya to save her. I'm 50-50 on that. I'm 50-50 on whether or not Toga can use the quirk of the person whose blood she drinks. Because that could be how she did the thing that Cammy was doing with the hiding in blind spots. But I don't know why she would have, you know, not saved herself there. Unless it was planned. So really, I can only be 50-50 on that. We don't have any other cases that we know of her appearing like someone else and using a quirk, you know? So I guess we're just gonna have to go with that. I hope I didn't miss anything when they explained the transform. I guess I could go back to that part and rewatch it. Just to make sure I'm not a friggin' idiot. Real fast, I'll try to get back there. I think we're pretty close. Yeah, let's see. Don't slack off on your regular check-ins, yada yada yada. Okay. She got some of Izuku's blood, which I'm trying to figure out, that's why I quirk transform. By ingesting someone else's blood, she can transform to look like that person. That was all that was revealed, But I'm not gonna lie, I feel like there could be more to that, you know? Maybe he just didn't explain enough, but maybe not. Maybe because he didn't explain it there, we can assume that it's not like that. So I'm still 50-50. That didn't fix anything for me, so I'm not sure. But damn. Whew. So what could she do with Midoriya's blood? I'm trying to rack my brain. If she can't use the quirk, and if All For One can't take the quirk of, if... I would assume that if All For One was going to take Midoriya's quirk, he'd actually need Midoriya, and not just Toga looking like Midoriya, you know? I don't think, like, All For One could take One For All back and do it through Toga looking like Midoriya. I think that's just ridiculous thing that I just came up with. So the only thing I can think of is she's gonna use that to somehow trick some other people, obviously. She's gonna look like Midoriya, and, I mean, maybe do some bad stuff to ruin Midoriya's rep, But in a world of quirks, you'd think that they'd be able to cross-reference, like, location and stuff, and be able to make sure that it was the actual person, because I'm sure she's not the only one that has a quirk that lets you look like other people, I'm sure, that's kind of like that's a pretty, at least in our world, with superhero, like, comics and shows and stuff like that, there's usually always someone that can do that. So, you'd think in a world of many, many quirks, they'd be able to cross-reference that, but if they do a good enough job covering their tracks, maybe they could pin Midoriya as the leak. If they know the school is investigating who leaked the information about the class trip and everything, if she looked like Midoriya, walked right into his dorm and planted some, evidence regarding that, maybe that could happen. But I just don't know if the school would believe that, I don't know how, we haven't really seen, like, the upper management of the school, like, how narrow-minded they are. Like, it seems, from what we've seen of, like, the teacher conferences and stuff, it seems like they're pretty open-minded, so I feel like they wouldn't blame Midoriya for something like that, and they'd figure it out fairly quick. But if they wanted to, like, heighten the drama of the show, they could have something like that, where Midoriya gets framed for something, everyone's starting to doubt Midoriya, and it starts ruining his reputation and all that. But yeah, I don't know what else they could really do with that other than trying to ruin Midoriya's reputation or get him kicked out of UA or, get his license taken away, something like that. Unless there's some kind of way they can physically harm him by looking like him, but I don't know. Anyways, that's all I really got for those theories. Maybe I'll come up with more and talk about it in future episodes as I, rewatch the episode and think about things. I was also trying to think of other times we may have seen Toga disguised as someone else. I was thinking all the way back to USJ when, like, Aizawa lost a lot of blood there. I was thinking, what if Toga was disguised as someone there and managed to gather some of it before they left? But I think everybody got captured except for so there's multiple problems here. Give me a second. I think everybody got captured except for Shigaraki and Kurogiri. That's his name. I think those two were the only ones that got away, and then the other problem was Toga wasn't a part of the League of Villains back then. So, unless she was undercover even in the League of Villains, being, like, super, super sneaky, then I don't think that she was there at the time. So if we're talking after the Stain incident, the school, like, I don't know when else we could have seen her being, like, pretending to be someone else that we might have known or noticed throughout the show, so I don't know. That was just something I was also thinking about while I was discussing other theories. But yeah, so then we get to the All Might and All for One uh, conversation where they discussed a lot of stuff. Mainly, I think the biggest points to come out of that are that, All for One kind of predicted all of this. He kind of figured that, by. I shouldn't say predicted. In a way, predicted. So. I don't know if this was his plan all along, if his plan all along was to come out, get injured, get put away, All Might to lose his, power, stop being the number one hero, and all that. I don't know if he planned for all that, but I think he might have come up with this after he got captured, just sitting there like a lot of time to think, and he started thinking like, okay, what would this world be like if All Might was taken down, and, we know Stain's influence in the world and all that, and so I'm wondering, I guess the biggest thing to take out of that was the conversation of him kind of knowing that society is going more towards like hero unity uh and getting, more antsy and more worried because the number one's gone and Dever can't really fill those shoes fully, and now all the villains are starting to realize that, and they're starting to move and just creating, this chaos, and it's all stemming from the fact that All Might lost his power because everybody relied on All Might so long that they even mentioned that they almost forgot and like got rusty of how to do the jobs themselves. And granted, there was always heroes doing stuff while All Might was a hero, but when All Might solved like majority of like the major crime, he kind of set that precedence. Same with kind of like a rich kid who grew up rich being given everything until they're like, say, 30 or something. And then if you cut them off, they're just like lost. If they never had to like work a day in their life and stuff, maybe some people can adjust, but, I'm sure there's a lot of people that wouldn't be able to adjust to that kind of living. Same with people that suddenly win the lottery. They tend to blow all their money and kind of ruin themselves in a way. And that's kind of like I talked about this in one of my rewatch series episodes where I was talking about how All Might kind of he did good for a very long time, but what he left behind, what he left behind isn't ready to take up his mantle. Like, what he left behind is Midoriya, who has his power, but can't wield it fully yet, and now the world is left without a symbol of peace until the next symbol of peace is ready. And now this is just like a world of chaos, and depending on how this world changes, they might not even be willing to accept a new symbol of peace, even when Midoriya becomes strong enough to become like, we know in like the first and second series they said like, this is how I became the world's greatest hero. And yeah, he may become the world's greatest hero, but there might be a new outlook on it where it's not just like, oh, the symbol of peace will handle it. People might realize like, oh, well, the last time the symbol of peace got, hurt beyond repair, we were screwed, so we need to be able to do some of the stuff ourselves as well. So it's a very interesting dynamic of how, depending on how you look at it, All Might has done good, but he also kind of created a society of, inadequacy in a way, and that has caused, his retirement to create way more waves than he probably would have anticipated. But basically, All for One was just pointing all that out to All Might, and All Might kind of fired back, which was pretty cool, saying like, your plan was to have Shigaraki kill me, and if it went really well, kill me and Midoriya, and possibly end the line of the quirk of One for All forever, and so that kind of logic, All Might managed to fire back and was just like, I won't let him kill me, I won't die, which is, I don't like when a character says that in a show, because that usually means they're gonna die. So, that's worrisome. But at least we know that Midoriya probably won't die, because at least he won't die before he becomes the world's greatest hero. Or else the first two seasons were teasing that for no reason. But without using meta thoughts in this, I guess that's like the biggest thing to pull out of this is that everything seems to still be going according to plan for All for One, and I don't know if he's just being cocky and arrogant because he doesn't want to show his own insecurities in front of All Might, or if he really is exactly where he wants to be. Shigaraki has left the nest, he's passed, his motivations and goals and everything he's built on to Shigaraki, and, All Might said, "You're not getting out of here," and he's like, pretty much said something like, "We'll see," or "You think I can't?" And so I'm like, and also, one thing we learned is that he's still able to use his quirk. I was thinking the stuff that he was wrapped up in, like, he had, like, these bands around his arms and his chest. I was thinking that was, like, kind of like a quirk repelling, like, substance or something that was able to stop the use of quirks. But it seems like they just have him where if he makes too much of a move or even thinks about making a move, they're able to detect his brainwaves and they're just gonna shoot him, with these, like, machine guns that are set up. But I feel like that is, like, very easily set up to fail. Because if he could fire off an EMP blast that was fast enough to go before the brainwaves, like, triggered or whatever, it just disabled all those cameras, then he could get out anytime. But I don't know. I'm not sure if he is just staying in there because he wants to, or if he actually can't get out yet and he needs someone else to come save him. It's very, very interesting. But yeah. And then after that, I also really, really, really loved the shot where it was, the reflection, like, it was looking through the glass from All Might's side, and you could see One for All, or All for One in there, and then you could see the reflection of, All for One's, All Might's face on the glass, and you could see, like, where All for One's eyes were supposed to be, it was All Might's eyes. And that was, like, a really, really cool shot. I love, like, the parallel that it was displaying there. But damn. That was really good. And then the conversation between Midoriya and Bakugo, which will be the last little bit I talk about here. I did not know where that was going because, well, no, I shouldn't say that. I knew where it was going. I knew it was gonna be, Bakugo confronting Midoriya about the quirk when he said, like, let's talk about your quirk or our quirk or whatever he said. But I didn't think that he was gonna, like, I didn't think that he was gonna be so angry about it, because when we saw him during the provisional licenses, he said, "It looks like you've really made that borrowed quirk your own," or something like that, And that kind of told me that he was changing in a way, but then this episode he seemed to be back to his, like, hating self in a way. But I'm wondering if more is going to come out of this. So if they actually do fight, because that was his answer, Midoriya was like, what are you going to do with the answer? And he's like, let's fight. And by Midoriya not declining it, he kind of already said that it was the case, but I just wonder what Bakugo's plan is here, whether Bakugo wins or loses in this fight, if this fight even takes place, because I don't know, like, if they could get in trouble for this kind of thing and they could get interrupted or whatnot, because fighting without supervision, they both have very strong quirks and they could very much hurt each other. But also Midoriya can't go all out, whereas Bakugo can hurt himself to go even further, too. So I guess they're sort of in the same boat, in a way. I still think since Bakugo has had his quirk longer, he has the advantage. But anyways. I just wonder, I'm just thinking about whether regardless of the outcome, what is this gonna prove to Bakugo? Because Bakugo wants to be the best. He wants to be like All Might, like he said in this episode. So does Midoriya. So does he think beating Midoriya is gonna bring him one step closer to All Might? Or does he think that, if Midoriya beats him, he's gonna have this, like, sense of respect for Midoriya, possibly? Like, I'm just wondering how they can twist this to make Bakugo not just seem like a whining baby that, not a whining baby, but, like, I don't know, he just, like, seems jealous, almost, that Midoriya is the one that got All Might's power, and he didn't, Um, this kid that he thought was always weak and everything, just like he always has been. But I just wonder if this fight is going to be a way for them to move past their problems. And, finally, towards the end of Season 3, we might actually see Bakugo start to come on his own a little bit, realizing now that he's, like, failed something. Because with his attitude, he's always pretty much succeeded, Even though everyone told him, his attitude is, dog crap steeped in garbage, or sewage steeped in garbage, or whatever it was that, I think it was Kaminari said to him on the bus one time. Even though he knew that, and even, like, the number 4 hero told him that, Best Genist, and all this, he was still succeeding. He still got into UA. He still, he failed some tests, but all in all, he was still passing. He was number 1 at the sports festival, even though he didn't really accept that. And this is the first time he's really failed something big, getting his provisional license. And that might have, like, shook him up a bit, and might have finally made him realize that he needs to change a bit. And maybe this is one of his first steps to changing before he gets into this 3-month course. This might just be, like, his final bits of frustration he takes out before he starts to work on himself, He wants to get this out of his system and then try to fix himself, but I don't know. Or I could be completely wrong, and Midoriya will beat him, and I just don't want, after all this development for Bakugo, I don't want him to become, like, a villain or something. I hope, if this show goes that route, I'm gonna be pretty upset, but I'm gonna give it to, the writer of My Hero. He or she has done a fantastic job so far, or it could be a group of people. They've done a fantastic job so far of not making, like, dumb character choices. Like, a lot of the characters' choices fall in line with their beliefs and everything, and the way they've acted all along. They don't do, like, sudden character changes. So I don't see them doing anything stupid with his character. So I'm very much interested to see what they have in store for him. Because obviously we know that Bakugo needs to kind of fix this attitude of his before he gets into actual hero work. Like, once he graduates the school and he's a hero on the streets, his attitude needs to be a bit better, or he's gonna be, like, just as bad as Endeavor, with, people like Inasa hating him because he slaps, signature signs away and stuff like that, and only cares about aiming at the top, and whereas that has gotten Endeavor to, now the number 1 hero, but if you want to not count that, even the number 2 hero, he can still do it with keeping that attitude, apparently, once he gets past this portion, but I don't know. But yeah, guys, I think that sums up most of what I want to talk about. I could ramble on more about Bakugo's personality and stuff, but regardless of all that, I'm not going to go too in depth with that. I've already discussed longer than the majority of times I do discussions, but this episode had a lot to talk about and that I wanted to discuss. But yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed. I'm really looking forward to finishing up the series, getting into the movies, seeing what those are about, and getting ready for Season 4 to come out. So, I hope you guys enjoyed. You guys can hit that subscribe button if you want to support me. There's also, like I mentioned in the beginning, there's Patreon. I won't go into depth about that again because I already did. And yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.